So you're all set to go. You've decided you're going to write your life story. But I have one question for you. Do you know why a lot of people don't finish their writing projects? Good question, isn't it? Something definitely that we want to avoid. So the answer is because they don't have a routine. They don't have a set time for writing. They don't have a time when nothing else is important except their writing. Now, I have to admit, it can be quite difficult in a busy life to find the time to say, every Tuesday, 10 a.m., I'm going to write this. Every Friday at 9 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to sit down and write for an hour. I'm going to get up an hour earlier every day and write. I mean, these are great plans. The question is, can we keep them? Can we do them regularly, week after week after week? Because a routine is essential on any project that you want to complete. Not only does it mean that you've set that time aside, but after a while, your brain starts to adjust and it knows that at this set time of day, you are going to be writing. So often it will make things easier, the ideas will surface, the creativity will flow, and things will fall into place a lot more easily. But to get to that point, you have to pick the time that suits you, that will work. And as you're picking your time, it's important not to force the situation. Don't promise yourself you're going to do things that you know you can't. For example, it would be unwise to say, I'm going to write every Saturday morning between 8:30 and 10. When you know your next door neighbour regularly mows their lawn between 8:30 and 10 and that they have a loud lawnmower that always distracts you. Just like it's not wise to say, I'm going to write every day 1:30 to 2:30. Which sounds great, lots of writing to get done, but it doesn't work if you regularly sit down for lunch at 1 o'clock and then are always going for your afternoon nap at 1:30. Yes, it's possible that you could be awake regularly for that time frame, but it's not going to be your most productive time. It's not going to be easy for you to fall into that routine. So it's much better that you're honest about what time you can write, as opposed to thinking of the ideal time. For example, I know people who wrote whilst they were sitting in the car waiting to pick up their children. They only wrote for half an hour every day, but they wrote every day for half an hour because it was a good time for them. They were sitting there, there were no interruptions, providing they parked in the right place. There was nothing to distract them, and although the situation, the location might not have been as comfortable as a study or a writing desk, it was okay because they could use their computer, their laptop, take it with them, they could write on a notebook, whichever worked, but it was a possible thing. So you would be better off saying something along those lines than saying you would be writing every evening for 2 hours when you know that by the time the children have gone to bed, you are tired and your brain is not working quite as clearly and smoothly as it should. So by saying, yes, I will write between 8 and 10, chances are it will be a bit of a plod. It won't be as easy as you would like, and therefore that would take the fun out of it and all those other things. So better off in many ways to pick 1 day a week or half an hour a day instead of 2 days, 3 days, because you can guarantee that you will be at your best. And that is more important than the amount of time, because it will be less frustrating, you will be more productive, and of course it'll be more fun. So there you go. The question is, when are you going to write, of course? When are you going to set your routine? There are plenty of hours in the week. You just got to pick the one that suits you. And once you have that, then it's a case of making sure that the world around you fits in with your writing. If you need to go somewhere else, if you need to go to a coffee shop to write to get away from the distracting lawnmower, then do that. If you need to put music on and a candle on and light a candle, then do that. If you need to tell the children to go amuse themselves or watch a video or whatever they do these days, or go play a video game for an hour, then do that. It's not going to change the world, but it will change whether you finish your project. It will make a difference on that level. Is that giving you something to think about? I belong to a group that used to write every Saturday morning. We only met Saturday mornings, 10 to 12. But the amount of writing that got done was amazing. The amount of stories that flowed, the creativity, it was extremely productive. It was worthwhile. People got things done. They were happy with what they completed. They went on to start the week knowing that they had achieved, which again is another reason for a routine. It's another reason for setting yourself up to succeed. Thankfully, in my life at the moment, I have tons of time to choose from where the routine works. For me, though, I often find that I'll put a lot of work in. I will focus on something for 3 weeks or so, and then I'll start to drift, which is always a risk, especially if the task you're doing is going to take longer than 3 weeks. But despite that, I still benefit from having the routine to follow. Otherwise, it's easy to get distracted, to think, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, oh, I'll do it later. And then before you know it, you've gone a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you haven't progressed at all. And by that time, there's no motivation to carry on, unless, of course, you have a deadline, which encourages you to stay on track or gets you back on track. So there you go. That's the question for today, just to make you think. What is your writing routine going to be? When is it going to be? What organisation is it going to take to make that ideal for you? Because if this project is important to you, it's worth setting yourself up to succeed. I love that phrase. Set yourself up to succeed. Much better than all the options. Well, I haven't given you that to think about. Have fun with your writing. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.